Talal here with Clarence Stanton, founder of Occupy the Hood STL. I'm here to find out what's going on with Occupy the Hood STL and their initiative to get involved with St. Louis public schools. Clarence, how are you today?
How you doing, man? I'm good.
Really good. Thanks for asking me to stop by and allowing me to be in on what's going on. So exactly what's going on with Occupy the Hood STL and St. Louis public schools?
Well, for 2013, Occupy the Hood is one of its main focuses, goals, and initiatives is to restore local power to the people for the St. Louis public schools. As you know, right now, the St. Louis public schools has provisional accreditation, and it still is ruled by a specially appointed board by the state of Missouri. We feel that that appointed board does not adequately address the needs of our community and the students that go to the schools in St. Louis public schools. So we are a for the people organization, and we feel like the best way for the people to have power when it comes to the St. Louis public schools is for them to have local control and to have an elected board that has real local control over the school system.
And so how do you go about, getting this power, getting involved? What do you guys plan on doing to make the necessary changes?
Well, right now, a formula and a strategy is being constructed. I know what we're going to do is a lot of informing of the people. We're going to tell the people a lot of the difference between the charter schools and also the desegregation that's being pushed, and the difference on what it is and what it means to have St. Louis public schools alive in the community and what happens to a community that does not have a school in it. And so basically what we're going to do is we're going to go about educating the people, and we'll decide from there what's the best course of action to take in order to get local control on the ballot for November election.
I see. If people, citizens, concerned citizens want to get involved and want to, be a part of this process, how can they reach out to Occupy the Hood St. Louis?
Well, Occupy the Hood is easily accessible. You can email us at occupythehood/stlouis@gmail.com. You can also contact us on Facebook under Occupy the Hood St. Louis, and you can reach us by phone. The number is 314-387-8708, and just call and leave a message if you want to volunteer, you want to do some door knocking with us. If you're interested in bringing local control of the St. Louis public schools back to the people, then we'd be happy to work with you.
All right. Good luck on all your work. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Because I'm telling you,
and it works,
that
because
brick,
I
those
bought
brick homes,
three elderly homes.
well, it's crazy, it's madness, because I recognize it back in 2006 when I got to see the real facts. They put it in front of me because I wasn't from any organization, just a regular mom with a bunch of children, had 7 kids, and my saving grace is that I'm going to make sure, hook or crook, my kids going to be something, they going somewhere, I don't care what, we don't have to have a dime. And I succeeded with several of them. So, hey, there we go.
I got a question. Have you ever looked into like the NAACPs?
I did indeed.
Well,
Indeed I did. But you know what? Tell you what happened. Remember when they closed Imagine? And that was right before the Turner decision?
Right.
Remember they were talking about sending all those kids out to play? So what did they do? What did they do? Boy, they had to hurry up because they did not want all those black kids coming out there. What they do? They closed Imagine, didn't they? Did they worry about the parents of the students, how they would feel losing all those years? All that time that they had invested in their education in that? No, they did not. That was to save St. Louis public school.
Right.
And all those kids, they bragged about how those kids, they were forced into St. Louis public school. They, so, and this is how we're going to do it. Now they're talking about, not Imagine, but the other one, Confluence, will be next. So, really? I mean, these are children, these are families, these are kids' lives. So what I'm saying now about the board is, recently, I belong to another group, we call ourselves the Powwow. Percy Green, Terry Ortiz, I know you've heard he just has a documentary out, and a few other activists in the community. And we recently, last week, talked to Jamila Nasheed. We wanted her to introduce, you can pass this down and let everybody take a wanted her to change some legislation. But what I asked her to do when we first met with her,
Talal here. I'm with Donna Jones from the St. Louis Public School Board. I'm going to introduce you guys to her, get her perspective on what's going on in the school board, what has happened with the school board, where the school board is headed. Ms. Jones, how are you today?
I'm fine.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me and allow me to ask you a few questions. So what's going on with St. Louis Public Schools?
Well, the board has been taken over since 2007. We fought hard in the springtime of 2007. We took over City Hall. We had about 350 students and about 35 students that actually set in on City Hall to stop the takeover, but the takeover took place. And there was a special administrative board that was put in place. And the school district has been run by the special administrative board since 2007, June 2007. And the district is currently being dismantled at this particular time. It's being taken apart. A lot of the schools are being dummied down so that the charter schools will become more attractive to the St. Louis Public School parents. But a lot of parents have decided to leave the city.
Okay, so do you think that it's better for our public schools to have a state-appointed board or a public-elected school board?
Well, I'm a taxpayer, and I feel like it's always important that if I'm paying taxes, I want to have representation. It's the American way. I believe in representation. I don't believe that anyone should have to pay for something and not receive those full services. So definitely not. I believe in a strong elected body. What would it be if every time we elect someone else took over just because there was some type of conflict or confusion? That's what America was built on.
What kind of legislation has been worked on as far as the school board is concerned?
Well, just recently, this past week, we spoke with Ms. Jamila Nasheed, and she was asked to introduce legislation that would return the board back to power as of July 2013. She initially introduced legislation into the board that asked that the board be reinstated in 2014, but that was not acceptable. We are asking that our elected board, elected officials, be put back into place July 2013. We only feel like that's fair to our students as well as our families and parents. And I'm a parent and I have a child in St. Louis Public School, and I feel like that parents have a different perspective, and I think the business community needs to run their business and let the parents and the citizens run our school district like other school districts.
I see. What is the main factor for the downfall of St. Louis Public Schools?
What I discovered when I was elected back in 2006, and I've been an elected board member since 2006, is that a lot of the employees would come to me and they would tell me that a lot of the services were being duplicated. And they might have a light bulb that needed to be screwed in. They might charge the district 5 or 6 times for that. They might need lawn service, and there were several charges for the same service. So duplication of services, and a lot of people are not being held accountable. So this is what I'm understanding, the reason why we have, and a lot of our students are very needy. A lot of our families really need help. And the business model has not been successful. This is why I'm saying I think it would change St. Louis Public Schools so much to have people that love our students and really care and no longer use this business model, because we're dealing with families who have a lot of issues and they need resources. And this is what we need to be. We need to be a whole community and not just about the business of providing books and a desk.
What are the effects of the degradation of St. Louis Public Schools, and who is impacted by this?
Well, our students, first of all. First and foremost, our students are impacted seriously. We are #1 in crime in the nation, #1 or #2. And our students have been suffering so much I mean, the environment in our schools at this time is devastating. Our students are fighting. A lot of our students are leaving school early than they normally should and becoming involved in crime. And there are a lot of economic issues. We have a administration downtown, the mayor's office, who does not embrace families here in the city of St. Louis. And so therefore, we have a lot of children that are leaving the district who are not able to read, who are not job ready, who are not able to fend for themselves once they have graduated or not graduated. So we have a citizenry that is angry. We have a lot of angry people, and rightly so. They have been bought and sold out.
Speaking of being angry, I've talked to a lot of leaders in disenfranchised / African American communities, and one consistent theme that I'm hearing is that concerning the violence and most or a lot of the dysfunctional components of our community is that the kids are angry. And you know, how does the degradation and closing of our public schools relate to what's going on with our youth, with the violence, with all this malfunction within the African American community?
What I came to realize when I was elected back in 2006 is that there was a plan, and there was a plan way before I got there in 2006. St. Louis Public Schools played a crucial role. We recently, a lot of people learned about the PalmaK plan, a redevelopment of the north side. The north side contains a lot of very valuable property, and that property is basically located or occupied by African American citizens. So what we have found is that the administration has targeted those families by destroying or dismantling St. Louis Public Schools. Thousands of teachers, as well as maintenance people, people who cook, people who are teachers' assistants, as well as teachers were employed by St. Louis Public Schools. So that would include people living in the neighborhood, so that meant a lot of people lost their homes. So a lot of people have become homeless. A lot of people have had to move out of the city of St. Louis to seek employment elsewhere, gainful employment. We had a lot of lawsuits that were filed. We have a lot of children that have, because of lack of education, have not qualifying for jobs that have decent pay. So therefore, many of them, and I recognize the fact that many of them live in homes where they might have one or more utilities shut off. They are not eating properly because of the high cost of food. And if you're not working, those are other issues. And we have a large homeless population here in the city of St. Louis with children. A lot of people are not talking about our homeless children. And I noticed that when I was a lead inspector and I was going into people's homes, that there were a lot of families. They might be in a 2-bedroom home, but there might be about 15 people maybe living in the basement to the attic. So the homes were filled with people. They're all living together, just trying to make it. And St. Louis has not been family friendly to our families at all. Just because they want this land, just because they want to dismantle the community, just because they're greedy.
So would it be a fair assessment to make? Would it be rational to say that the PalmaK deal, the closing of St. Louis Public Schools, the challenges that the youth and the African American community face are all related?
They're absolutely related. And when you think about, there were recently, a few years ago, you noticed that there were politicians standing in front of the Justice Center talking about how they had already talked about how many new jail cells they were going to build based on St. Louis Public Schools results from their children, their reading level results. And so...
So they basically compare the test scores of the children in these disenfranchised communities to calculate how many jail cells they would need in the future.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that would satisfy our out-of-state population of people who might not go along with St. Louis Public School because they're looking at the ideal that we're going to provide them with jobs. They will have jobs for their families, but we're going to be minus a lot of African American young men, and a lot of our young men are being murdered, even by each other, or by law enforcement, or dying at a higher rate because we don't have the medical community involved in North St. Louis. Ambulance service no longer exists over there. It takes almost an hour if someone were to get injured for an ambulance to come. So if you were to get shot or be a victim of crime, you'll probably die before service gets to you. So the frequency of crime in the neighborhood that has no jobs, and watching young men and young women standing around, they're smart, they're intelligent, but they have nowhere to go and nothing to do. We recently opened O'Fallon Recreational Center, and the fees are pretty pricey still for people who are on a fixed income. It's a nice facility, but for our young people who are on the street, it's still, the doors are closed.
Right, and you know, I do a lot of work over in the 21st Ward. I talked to some of the young people and some of the older people over there about how they felt about the new recreation center, and a lot of them really don't identify it as being a place for them. They simply just can't afford it.
They just can't afford it. I toured the facility. It's a beautiful facility, but I just cannot, as a resident, I'm a resident of the 27th Ward, and I don't live but maybe 5 minutes away, and I don't see it being affordable to the young people that really need that kind of help.
Not that the fees are really all that expensive, but we're talking about disenfranchised, very low income bracket communities.
Absolutely. If it's $44 or $55, $56 a month, that's still a lot for someone who has no income. And so when they think about young people and crime and kids staying in school, a lot of the kids come to school, they're still hungry. I mean, they think that the Special Administrative Board has put in place a better policy of feeding our children. It's just definitely still not enough. We do not have cooks on site in many of our schools that are providing nutritious meals to our students, so they're leaving, they're hungry. When they arrive, they're hungry. So they're in the evening, they're stealing, they're doing whatever they can to just make it. And I believe if we were to provide them with better resources and better opportunities in our schools and make it a more humane place to come, then our doors would burst open with children, and they would want to be there, they would want to stay. They would feel welcome and loved. And as well as having a staff that is reflective of that student body, versus hiring teachers that do not look like them.
Right.
It's a problem.
Ms. Jones, how long have you been on the St. Louis Public School Board?
I was elected back in 2006, April of 2006.
Okay. And what?
2006, April of 2006, and I'm still on the board. I just recently got reelected back in 2010.
Congratulations.
Didn't have any money, and I have to say this part here because I didn't have any money, and I was really worried about the community support. But I was elected with 40,272 votes, and that was only by the grace of God. But it also was a mandate from the people, and it let me know that the people are tired and they want something better, and they want their voices to be heard.
Ms. Jones, over $100 million goes through the St. Louis Public Schools each year. Is that not enough money to keep our schools open? Why or why not?
It can be enough. It can be enough, and of course there needs to be more because we have a lot of students who have a lot of various issues. We really do. But if the money was to be spent correctly in the places where it was needed, then I think it would have a great impact, and we would get better results. So it's how you spend your money. Any mom, dad knows. If you look at your budget for your house, you know where to place your money. If you need more reading, if you need more math, if you need more tech, then that's where you put your money. It depends on where you place the dollars.
Well, with $100 million going through the public school system each year, apparently those dollars aren't being placed in the right spots. From your, you've been on the inside. What do you think? What's going wrong?
Well,
we're talking about $100 million.
Well, actually, I'm on the outside.
Okay.
because we've been shut out by this special administrative board, the people who were placed there by the governor, by the mayor, and by the president of the board of aldermen. So we have not had access to real facts and figures. The superintendent, Calvin Adams, will come to some of our meetings and he will bring, you know, a few glossy brochures with numbers, but those are not the real logistics. Those are not the facts and figures. Those are the figures that you would give out to the public. So I cannot tell you where the money or how the money is being spent. Recently, there was a Prop S bond issue that was passed.
How can you be on the board and they not include you or give you access to this very pertinent information?
Cronyism, politics. We are shut out because we want something totally different than the people who are currently existing on that board. They want to make sure that they keep those outside contracts, those vendors, in the pockets of the St. Louis taxpayers without any type of oversight. And I totally want something totally different. I want what the public wants. I want to know where that money is going, how it's being spent, and I want that money to be spent in the classroom.
Ms. Jones, what is the recipe to reinvigorate St. Louis public schools?
The recipe is for the parents. I'm a parent. Parents have to get tired. And I think until the parents get tired, then things won't change very, very fast. I'm a parent. I'm tired. I'm fed up. This is a non-paid position. And the key ingredient is people power. When the people stand up, things will change. We have to say no. How many more people have to die? How many more young men have to be incarcerated? How many more young ladies have to lose their lives? How many young people do you have to look at that have no future? So when we get tired, then things will change.
I see. So if people want to get involved with this fight for a public elected school board, people want to reach out and ask you questions, share things with you, do you have any website or any contact information where you can be reached out to?
Absolutely. I have a public phone, and the public phone is 314-800-1834. Again, the number is 314-1834. And they may reach me at ms.donnajones@yahoo.com.
Ms. Jones, thank you so much for coming by to talk with me.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Thank you.